I'm Liz, and this is a slow flow sequence. Reach your hands a little farther forward. Inhale, come up to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, lift your hips and knees, downward facing dog. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart, maybe even a little wider to give more space in your shoulders if that makes your shoulders happy. Middle fingers are facing straight ahead. Press into the horn between your thumb and your index finger so your pinkies aren't loading down. Let's have our feet hip width distance, toes are facing straight ahead. You can slowly start to pedal into your heels, bending one knee, pressing the other heel down, getting a nice stretch in the backs of your legs. Press your shoulders onto your back, away from your ears. Inhale, lift your hips in the air. Exhale, slowly lengthen your knees. Let's do that again. So a little bend in the knees, hips high, slowly lengthen your knees. Totally okay if the heels aren't on the floor. Never the goal here. The goal here is to stretch out the backs of our legs, the whole back body. Inhale, lift your right leg in the air. Exhale, bring your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, two hands up to our crescent lunge. Your back heel is lifted. Your front knee is bent as much as 90 degrees. Try to square your hips. So right hip forward, left hip back. So you're really committing to facing the front of your mat. Reach your arms up high, maybe sink a little lower. Make sure your shoulders aren't elevating towards your ears. Nice big open pose, crescent lunge. Inhale, exhale, lower your back heel behind. We're in a warrior two stance here, so right toes are facing forward, right heel transects with the instep of your left foot behind. Your right knee is bent as much as 90 degrees. Try to get a little weight in the pinky toes with both feet. Get nice open thighs here. Now your hips are committed to facing the left side of your mat. Your shoulders are heavy, arms just float up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your torso a little higher out of your hips. Exhale, let your shoulders sink a little heavier. One more big round of breath here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring your right arm to your right thigh. Bring your left arm overhead. 2 feet are grounding into the mat. Right ribs are coming to the left, to the front. Left ribs are coming to the back. Your left arm is reaching into space. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Windmill back up to warrior two. Bring your left arm behind your back. Bring your right arm overhead. Reverse your warrior. Your legs haven't changed, just the upper body is moving through space. Inhale, exhale. Let's take one more breath here, fully enjoying the pose. Exhale, windmill your arms down to the mat, hands come down to either side of your foot. Exhale, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath here. Reestablishing your foundational pose. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left foot through to runner's lunge. Inhale, bring your arms up to crescent lunge. Your back heel is lifted. Now your right hip comes forward, your left hip comes back. So your hips square to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up nice and high. Again, as much as a 90-degree bend in your front knee. Back knee is straight, maybe a little micro bend. Working off this nice solid base. Reach your arms up high. Inhale. Exhale, drop your right heel down behind. Make sure your feet are lined up as before. Your left heel lining up the instep of your back foot. Left knee can bend as much as 90 degrees. The toes of your back foot can be at a right angle on your mat, or they can be at a more turned in angle, about 45 degrees or more. Your torso is now committing to the right side of your mat. Your shoulders are heavy, your arms are featherweight, and float up to shoulder height. Inhaling, exhale. We'll take one more big round of breath in our warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring your left arm to your left thigh. Bring your right arm overhead. Side angle pose. Try to create a long, energetic line from your right pinky toe in the back to your right middle finger overhead. Commit your torso to the right side of your mat. Make sure you're not collapsing on your lower shoulder. Press into your left forearm to lift yourself up. Inhale, back through warrior two, reversing your warrior. Right arm can come behind your back, your left arm reaches over. Remember, your legs haven't changed. Nice, strong warrior sequence. Inhale, exhale, windmill your hands back down to the mat. Step your left foot back to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, bring your right foot through to runner's lunge. Inhale, come up to your crescent lunge. Exhale, drop your left heel behind, warrior two. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, right arm to your right thigh, or side angle pose. Inhale, reverse your warrior, left arm behind, right arm reaches over. Exhale, spiral to the mat. Inhale, exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring your left foot through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop your right heel behind. Inhale, lift out of your pelvis. Exhale, your left arm to your left thigh. Bring your right arm overhead, side angle. Inhale, reverse your warrior, reaching back. Inhale, windmill your hands to the mat. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot through to lunge. Inhale, come up for your crescent lunge. Exhale, lower your left heel, warrior two. Inhale, your right arm to your right thigh, lifting your left arm over, side angle. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, spiral your hands to the mat. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left foot through to runner's lunge. Inhale, reaching up to crescent lunge. Exhale, drop your right heel behind, warrior two. Inhale, left arm to left thigh, reach your right arm up, side angle pose. Inhale, reach up and back to your reverse warrior. Inhale, windmill your hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath here. Inhale, reach your right leg up behind. Exhale, bring your right foot through to the mat, to the front of the mat. Exhale, lower your left knee, point the toes on your left foot. Bring your right foot back behind your left toes. So I like to have a nice line between my instep in the back, toes, knee, and the hand. If you need a little more space here, as I often do, go ahead and bring your left hand a little over to the left. So make this as challenging a balance as you like. Stack your right hip on top of your left. So the hips are now facing committed to the right side, but in a different orientation, they're stacked. Make sure that you're pressing out of your left arm, left shoulder pressing up so we don't collapse down. Inhale, reach your right arm up overhead to the sky, or you can bring your arm forward. Okay. Option to stay here. This is a great balance. If you'd like a little more challenge, you can lift your right leg up, pointing your heel. So you have a 90-degree angle in your ankle of your right foot. Wherever you are, breathe. And if your right foot is lifted, go ahead and lower your right foot. Bring your right hand to the mat. Bring your right knee to the mat, tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips and knees, downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind. Exhale, bring your left foot through. Lower your right knee behind. Uncurl the toes of your right foot. Bring your left foot back behind your right. So again, as much of a balanced beam as you feel like you want here, or you can bring your right hand over to the right a little bit, which just gives a little bit more kind base of support. Bring your left hand to your left hip, stack your left hip over your right hip. Inhale, reach your left arm to the ceiling, or maybe bring your left arm forward. Keep shoulder blades squeezing towards one another behind your back. So option to stay here. If you want a little more heat here, you can lift your left leg, keep your ankle flexed if you do. So toes are committed to the left side of the mat. Stay in your breath. If your left leg is lifted, go ahead and gently lower. Bring your left hand to the mat, bring your left knee to the mat, tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips and knees, downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath. With an inhalation, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot through between your hands. Find one of your blocks. Place your block at the top right corner of your mat. You can have it on any height you like. Place your left hand on the mat, right hand on the block. Lift your left leg behind, standing splits. Make sure your hips are squared here. Lifting from your left inner thigh, lifted ankle is flex. Okay. Slowly stack your left hip over your right hip. So we've got, just like we did before, the hips are starting to commit to the left side. Left hand can stay on the mat here. Your left hand can come to your hip. Your left arm can reach to the sky. Half moon balance. As always, make sure you're pressing out of your right shoulder, right arm, so that you're lifting off and not collapsing down. Nice open soaring pose. Exhale, bring your left hand to the mat, bring your left foot to the mat, forward fold. It's as good a time as any to move your block over to the left side of your mat. Bring both hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left foot through to runner's lunge. Placing your left hand on your block, lift your right leg up, standing splits. Lifting from the inner right thigh so the toes face straight down. Then we're going to switch it up, stacking the right hip over the left. Bring your right hand to your right hip. See if you can get those hips nicely stacked. Right ankle flexed 90 degrees. Right shoulder stacked over your left shoulder. Inhale, bring your right arm up into the air. Feel your flight. Half moon balance. Slowly exhale to bring your right hand down, bring your right foot down, forward fold. Bring two hands to the mat. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower your knees. Bring your hips to your heels. Child's pose.